Good afternoon officially. I'd like to thank everybody for being here. Just would again like to rewind a little bit, congratulate everyone involved in what was an amazing run during March there, and also thank everybody for their support. I still owe a lot of thank you calls that are on my list. I'll get to them here, but just really wanted to say thank you to everybody. Today, obviously the purpose of this is to officially introduce our new head coach. But a little bit more on that here after Ken's done. But at this point in time, I'd like to bring up Ken Gormley, President, Duquesne University.
Thanks, Dave. This is truly a special day when I don't have to wear a tie and Dave Harper has one on. I think that's a first. As Dave said, my name is Ken Gormley. I have the privilege of serving as the 13th president of Duquesne University, and so on behalf of the entire university community, I wanted to express how thrilled we are that Dru Joyce has accepted the position as the new head coach of our Atlantic 10 Championship Duquesne Dukes men's basketball team. Early in my presidency, when Dave Harper and I made the significant decision to hire Keith Dambrot as coach, based obviously on his winning record at Akron, but also on his personal commitment to Duquesne, built upon his desire to honor his dad, Sid, who had played for the Dukes in the early 1950s, we were doing more than just hiring a great coach to win some games. We were rebuilding the program from the ground up to return Duquesne to its glory days back in the 50s and the 70s and other periods when Duquesne was a national powerhouse. An essential component of that years-long strategy was Keith's hiring of Dru Joyce here as associate head coach several years ago. From the start, Keith made clear that Dru represented the type of talent, leadership skills, ability to connect with the players, and quiet tenacity that would ensure continuity for our program over the long haul. During the first month, I think it was the first month that Dru arrived on campus, I remember having lunch with him and telling my wife, this new guy is really something special. He's obviously a former star player, professional athlete, he's a strategic thinker, and as the whole world now knows, he was a high school teammate of LeBron James in Akron under Coach Dambrot, and LeBron remains one of his closest friends, who proudly told about 2 million of his close friends in helping us to announce that great news on Thursday of Dru's appointment. But just as important as those things, Dru impressed me as a gentlemanly colleague and as a true family man. He goes back regularly to visit his parents in Akron, and we're so happy that we have Dru Joyce II here with us, and his wife Carolyn, and also mother-in-law Lita. So welcome to the family here. Let's have a round of applause for them. And his wife Lene and 3 kids, Olivia, Cannon, and Avery, are a central part of his life. Dru's wife and kids are veteran travelers, as we've learned, and they traveled on the plane with us to Brooklyn for the A10 championship. I saw them getting cookies with me when we were there. But again, they were at the NCAA tournament in Omaha. Incidentally, I can tell you that little Cannon looks just like a mini version of Dru, and he has some awesome dance moves when the Jumbotron camera is focused on him, I can tell you. But Dru and this family have been a perfect fit with the Duquesne family since the day they arrived, which is why I said the day we announced Dru's hire that this was an easy decision. Now, don't get me wrong, Dave Harper did a thorough national search, and thankfully I can tell you, because this team has been in the national spotlight and won 25 games this season, we had a lot of interest in this position as head coach from highly talented coaches across the country. But at the end of the day, there was no question in our mind that Dru was the best person, the perfect person to continue the upward trajectory of this basketball program that we embarked upon in 2017 when Keith was hired. And I have no doubt that the Dambrot era will now be equaled and soon surpassed by the Dru Joyce era, with many years of excitement and world-class basketball at Duquesne ahead. And most importantly, I just want to conclude by saying that this is true because I know that Dru has a heart for these players. He cares about their futures, and we have some of our star players here. You guys just did such a fabulous job. We're so proud of you. But he cares about their futures as student athletes, and I'm certain that their lives and their careers will be enriched dramatically by working under him and learning from his wisdom and steady example. These students, and I remind my leadership team of this all the time, they are the reason that we're all here. And by hiring this coach at this ascendant moment in the history of our basketball program, I know that our student athletes and the new recruits who will be now joining the team from across the country and around the world will have the greatest and most dedicated coach possible at the helm. Congratulations, Dru, to you and to your beautiful family, and go Dukes.
Yeah, so just a little bit, I've been fortunate in my history to have some fabulous mentors. And when I was at Dayton, Ted Kissel and Tim Waldler both kind of gave me the opportunity to go and scout coaches when I was young. And you always looked for what I would say telltale minutes, especially when you're looking at assistant coaches, because it's hard to see on television. How are they involved in the huddle? What are they doing? So as part of that, I just kind of always watched this year, and obviously I had an uphand and close look at Dru, and you look for those telltale moments. Well, the one that kind of stuck out to me at first was, we were playing up at Rhode Island, we got a big lead, and they were getting down the hill on us, right? You remember that? And somehow, some way, somebody convinced Coach Dambrot to play something other than man-to-man, right? Which is a miracle in and of itself. So switched to zone, stopped them from getting downhill, preserved our lead, and went in. And after that, I ran up to Rick McFadden and I said, "Rick, whose call was that?" And he said it was Dru's. And so that was just the beginning of things that you saw. And then in our conversations, the talk about embracing the challenge that now lies ahead. It's very different. Getting there is one thing, getting there again is even more difficult. So to do it again will require another level of recruiting, another level of player development, another level of all-around experience for our student athletes, from academics to support where they need it. And the person that really embraced that challenge the best was Dru Joyce. As a word I would put there, quietly relentless is probably one that sticks out to me, a phrase that would stick out to me, and we're gonna have to do that again. So I just want to know, and I'm gonna challenge myself, challenge all of our team to support all of our coaches as best we possibly can going forward, because doing it again is gonna be difficult. It's a different strategy, it's a different way of looking at things, it's taking advantage of momentum, which is another careful strategy that we'll have to have in place. So as we do that, we're also supporting a first-time head coach, who's a little different animal as well. So in all of that, I'm gonna challenge our team to be the best we can possibly be, to make sure that what's our jobs, as we say as athletic administrators, make sure that coaches and players are successful. That's our simple task. And Dru, I'm making a full commitment to you in front of witnesses, so you have it, that I'm gonna be there to support you. There's gonna be that rough day, that rough game. Every coach has one, but we're gonna battle through it. We're gonna be good, and we're just gonna keep pushing for postseason. That's why we're here. Once you get a little taste of it, unfortunately, you get a little greedy. And so would like to do that again. And so Dru already had his first official call that I had a pleasure of being on as head coach at recruiting call. And so I'll never forget the Young's band name. I can't say it because our compliance officer's back there. But I will tell you that name's going to be forever etched. And if we're fortunate enough to get him, we get him. If not, I'll still remember it vividly. I had to sharpen my pitch quickly over Easter weekend just to make sure that it was as good as it could possibly be to help Dru. And so with that, I'm very, very proud to have a new teammate and to have a new leader for Duquesne men's basketball. He's gonna hate when I say this, but I'm formally introducing him as James Joyce III. But everybody's gonna call him Coach Dru, we know that, so come on up.
It's been a struggle to get this out this pocket all day, so bear with me. Good afternoon. The resounding question has been since Thursday, right? I'm losing track of my days already, but how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? And it's incredible. Just overcome with joy, overcome with joy. To have this opportunity to have a dream come to fruition, and for people to believe in me and just lead a program. And you'll have to deal with my emotions this whole time through. Like I said, I'm just excited and I'm passionate about what I do. I want to take this time though in this moment to really show gratitude and say thank you. There's just so much to be thankful for, so many people that have had an impact and influence on my journey, on my life, for me to be able to stand before you today, and I got to make sure they're recognized. And I think I'm gonna get my first win here today, and I don't know if I win the press conference. I don't know who judges that, but I'm gonna get a win at home, and that one's very important. So the first person I want to thank is my beautiful wife. We've been at this thing. There we go. See, I'm smart. We've been at this thing since we were 19. You're my partner. You're my best friend. We've been through it all. We'll continue to fight through it all. I just want to thank you for your support and your understanding. This can't be done without you, and I love you, and I want to say thank you. And it's been interesting. I've been an assistant coach for 5 years, and she always has a series of questions for me. Where is this happening? What time is this going to happen? When will this happen? And I always go, I don't know, but I'll find out. But I found myself Friday being hit with those same questions, and my initial reaction was to say, I don't know, I'll find out. But I guess I'm the person that has to have that answer now. I can't use that as an excuse anymore. But I'm working on it, and I'll improve. I want to thank my kids. I'm Coach Dru as I stand here, but I'm always dad to you. You'll always have my love, my energy and support, always and forever. Whatever's going on in your life, whatever you do, I'm going to be there. I appreciate you guys, because I know you probably feel like you got to share me sometimes, and your energy allows me to do that. So thank you. Mom and Dad, what can I say? You instilled the discipline and values in me from a child, and I carry those with me today. And you'll hear a little bit of them later, because I'm going to breathe those same things into this program and to our young men, because I know what got me here, and I know what can be useful for them too as well. But I really want to take this time to thank President Gormley, our board of directors, Dave Harper, our athletic director, for taking that chance, for whatever phrases you use, that I was your guy, that you believed in me to lead this program as the 18th coach of Duquesne history. I really appreciate you guys' vision, the opportunity to align with you guys, to partner with you guys, and the unbelievable support that I know you'll give me. As I go through this journey, I know I won't go through it alone. I also want to thank Duquesne University and the Duquesne Athletics and Athletics Department for your unwavering support through this time. I really appreciate it. You know, when it comes to, you know, our program and our guys, I had a chance to speak with them earlier today. Just know that I'm always have your back. I'll always be there for you guys. This relationship that we build is not transactional, but transformational. I think it's my duty and my purpose to make an influence, to make an impact in each and every one of your lives. Not to just coach you, right? But to help you, to motivate you, to push you, to listen to you as well, to be someone that you come talk to, and to be someone that beyond these years that you spend here on this campus and in our program, that you'll always be able to call on. You'll always be able to reach out, and I'll be there for you. You guys just make sure when you're off playing for continuing your basketball career and playing for money that you don't forget about me and you send me tickets and whatever gifts you want to send me to, I accept them all. So don't hesitate. But I think it's important for each and every one of you in the room to really understand what our culture is, not our style of play, but what you're going to see from our young men, right? Whether it's on the court or off the court. Our standard is a championship mindset. Whether we're on the court, off the court, in the classroom, or in the community. There's certain values that I expect our young men to embody that will help them in each and every way of their life. And these are things that help me along the way. The first one is discipline. A high level of discipline, being able to show up consistently in the practice of positive habits, those habits that can create a way of life and a lifestyle beyond basketball. The next thing I ask of our young men in our program is integrity, not just what we do, but how we do it, with honesty and transparency, that we're truth tellers and we're not afraid to tell each other the truth, whether we agree or disagree, right? I'll be there to tell you if your breath stinks, but I'll also be there to hug you and let you know I love you. The next value is enthusiasm. We are fortunate to do what we do, no matter our circumstances, no matter what brought us here. We're together. We can never take what we do for granted. So we must do it with passion, we must do it with joy, we must do it with love. And the last one is toughness, right? Toughness, the ability to endure what we can't see in front of us, right? Those goals that we're going to chase, the journey that we'll be on, we don't know how it's always going to wind up, but will we keep going? And I know we will, because we'll be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually tough. Man, it's been a roller coaster of a few days. The support from family and friends has been outstanding. I just want to take time to say thank you to all of them. I know I got probably about 500 text messages that I haven't gotten around to, but I surely will in due time. I just want people to know that I do care, I do appreciate their words, and thank you. You know, and I'll end with this. Today I drove in from Akron, which is about an hour and 45 ride. I make it quite often. I got it memorized, down packed. I know where every turn and cop sits on the way there. So I did the speed limit though. But I rode in silence for the most part. I do that from time to time. I'm getting a little bit older. I don't need music as I ride through. So I was in silence for the entire ride until my wife called and broke that silence. And of course it was a series of questions. What do we do when we get there? Where do we park? And my initial reaction was to go, I don't know, I'll find out. But this time I had an answer for it. I said, you're gonna park in the garage and we'll have a spot for you. Don't worry about it. So I am improving in that area. I'm gonna have answers for you all the time. But after we got off the phone, I'm about 15 minutes out, and I decided to, turn my music on. All right, I didn't pick out a song. I just turned the volume up, let it play. And Mom, you'll appreciate this one. What popped on was Step by Step by Whitney Houston. And it was fitting for today. To hear that song, it just reminds me of the journey that I'm about to go on, that we're about to go on. And the chorus went step by step, day by day, brick by brick. That's how we'll grow. That's how we'll continue to grow. I ask for each and every one of you that's in this room today to take part in that journey with us, to help our young men, to elevate our young men, to take care of them and make sure we're doing the right things. Because this isn't, like Dave said, this is going to be difficult to do once again and to repeat, but we will hold the trophy again. We will cut down nets, and we're going to raise another banner. Just as long as you say we can keep banners in the arena. But with that said, I really appreciate your time. For everyone that showed up today, thank you. I don't take that lightly. I'm glad to see your faces, and we're just getting started. Go Dukes.
All right, we're going to open up for questions from the media that's here. I'm going to have Dave Harper step up to the podium first. Just a reminder, when you ask a question, please give your name and affiliation before you answer the question. We have our mic over here. Can you come up here? So that they're all right here.
Yeah, before I take a question, I will share a good quick anecdote. So we're in a Zoom meeting with the team on Thursday. Everybody has conversations. And as we're winding down, Dru says, okay, Monday morning, everybody, 10 o'clock. And got silent for a little bit, and Kareem just said, Coach, you're not off to a strong start. so saw you sneak in there, Kareem. That was a good line to start off things.
Thank you. The Jerry DePaula Pittsburgh trip, Dave, President Gormley said there was a lot of interest in this job. How much interest was there, and how many people did you actually talk to?
I won't go into details there. Any athletic administration has to fully vet candidates. That's what we did. But again, I would say Dru was a very early conversation and what I would say later closeout conversation as we went into this. It became apparent that he was ready to embrace the challenge. It became apparent that we wanted more, and I think it was an unquestioned choice for us. And I couldn't be happier that he actually confirmed it today, so in person. So I've got his word now. So.
Just go down the line. Okay.
Dominic Campbell, Pittsburgh Sports Now. When we talk about what Dru's done this past 2 seasons, how have you seen him just off the court, and how much has he benefited this program that maybe the fans and other people don't see, I guess?
Yeah, I think what I would say is, although he obviously had a long amount of time that he has spent and been mentored by Coach Dambrot, there are a number of other touching points and experiences that he's had, whether overseas, whether it was at Cleveland State under Dennis Gates, whatever it may have been. There's just a dynamic influence there. And I think obviously all the great qualities and things that Coach Dambrot had in his program will unquestionably continue, but I also know as a new coach, we discussed a few things that may change. The game has changed significantly. As a lot of coaches will say, it's a bad business, but a great game. It is a great game. And I think focusing on that, focusing on the young men, that's going to be paramount as we go forward, because it's going to be about their development, about our coaching staff's development, and certainly about our progress as we continue to take advantage of the performance we had recently.
Abby Schnabel, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Dave, I'm curious if you'd be willing to share some of the Zoom meeting that you had with the team, what you said to them, some of their reactions, that kind of stuff.
I'm not. I'll let Dru do that. I just was fortunate to tell them who I chose, and that's their meeting. I'm just fortunate to be in the room, so you can ask Dru that one. Yeah. I shared Kareem's jokes. That was my contribution.
Any other questions for Dave?
I will say I didn't recognize Jake DeMichael. He cleans up well, so that one I said, who's this kid over here on this square? So that one was, yeah.
Hey Dave, Corey Christen, DK Pittsburgh Sports. In canvassing not just Dru but also outside candidates, what do you gauge the vision for NIL and for the growing landscape, so to speak, of this sport, and how did you gauge Dru's vision specifically for that?
Well, I think you spend two things. The on the court stuff is very important because there's key markers and targets that you want to hit from performance analytics, from just different things, from recruiting. I think, when we talked, I said to him, the most important two things for the next 90 days are recruiting and recruiting. The NIL landscape, I think we've navigated it well. It'll change again, I'm certain, as we go through the next few years. But as we talk with NIL, it's not the reason somebody's going to choose Duquesne. It can't be the reason somebody's not. I just think more so you've got to be more vested in relationships. I think some young men are making quick decisions that are transactional for them in life, that if they would slow down, take a deep breath, it's about the lifelong relationship you need to establish for people that are going to be for you, whether you want to continue your grad school, whether you want to challenge yourself here more, whether you want to pursue opportunities overseas. Just having that holistic support from an administrative staff to support what the coaches want to do in that space, that's where we've always focused and will continue to do so.
Thanks, Dave. Good. Coach, you want to come up to the podium now? Questions for Dru?
Thank you. Dru, Jerry DePaula, Pittsburgh Trib again. I was wondering, what kind of things, off the court things, did Coach Dambrot teach you, not only as when you were playing for him, but when you were coaching with him?
I think things that were taught to me from off the court by Coach Dambrot was just the discipline of showing up every day with enthusiasm and energy. I think you can take that into any walk of life that you do. That was one of the biggest lessons I learned from him after knowing him from the age of 12 and seeing him run and jump all over the place at a bunch of 10, 11, and 12-year-olds, to seeing him in his final season bring that same energy. He couldn't jump as high or run as fast, but he still managed to find a way. And I think some of our players experience some of those moments. But it's, like I said, what I learned is no matter what, you got to show up, not only for yourself but for people. And he did that, and I'll take that with me.
Dominic Kimball, Pittsburgh Sports. Now, Dru, obviously you're tied with LeBron a lot, but he did announce you as the head coach of Duquesne. What does it mean to have had a friend like him throughout this whole process, and just having him to be the one to announce your biggest step in your professional career?
Yeah, you mean the unquestioned source, right? I wonder where you got that lead from. You know, it's a bond, it's a friendship that goes way beyond the tweet from the other day, but back to our experience from 9 and 10 years old. That's where it really comes from. Just a couple young guys that had a lot in common, that wrapped our minds around, you know, we're gonna be honest with each other, we're gonna motivate and push each other, and that's what we still continue to do to this day. Our loyalty to each other has been a huge part in each of our lives, and that's not something that's easy to find, so you don't want to replace anything like that, and it's just been a special relationship not only have with him, but amongst my group of friends, and his support. That's what we do, right? You know, that's just what we do. We're always going to be here for each other.
Abby Schnabel, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I'm gonna ask you now, what was the Zoom like with the players? What did you say to them, and what was it like seeing their reactions?
You know, outside of Kareem's disappointment, and outside of being surprised by the new shave from Jake DeMichael, because I noticed that immediately too. You know, that was very alarming. It was everything I expected it to be. I was excited, and I didn't care what their excitement was going to be. I think the cat was out the bag, so I didn't know if they were still surprised or not. But you know, I love those guys, and they reciprocate the same love to me, and I'm here for them. And I think they know I got their best interests at heart, and that's where the truth lies. So we're off to a good start.
Spencer Thomas from the Duquesne Duke. Coach, you've been around other coaches your entire life, but especially in your family. Your father and your brother are both incredibly successful coaches back in Ohio. What can you say about that as you take the step to become a head coach yourself?
So you're just gonna put a challenge in front of me right then? I got a lot of work to do, basically is what you're saying. You know, when you talk about coaches, the first coach I had, it's who I learned the game from, who taught me how to play. But I also, once I knew by the time of the age of 12 or 13 that one day I was going to be a coach and have the wish for the opportunity to lead a program, no matter if he thought I was listening and watching or not, I was taking notes each and every day, no matter if it was on the court or off the court. I was a witness to what a husband should be, what a father should be, and also what a coach should be. And it's not really about the X's and O's. Yes, you have to learn those, you have to be well equipped, but it's about relationships, how you value those, what you pour into them, and I always got that from my dad, and I'll continue to carry that with me. And I believe my brother has that same spirit. He's an incredible coach, and shout out to him for beating my dad this year and winning the state title.
Dru, Will Graves, Associated Press. Sort of to follow that up, how did you know that now you were ready to kind of take that step to move one chair over to be the guy that is answering the questions, not finding the answers?
Yeah, I don't think you ever know, right, when you're, you know, when you're ready or you know what the experience will be. You gotta go through it. I will say my preparation has equipped me, and I have a confident belief in myself more than anything. So I think through hard work, being dedicated to the sport and what I believe our young men need, I have a sense of confidence and belief that I'm more than capable of doing this job. And and leading our young men. So yeah, I'll be learning and growing day by day. So, but I look forward to it.
Dru, Dave Mackel, Tribune Review. You know, the story's been told a million times, 47 years, 55 years for the win. But the program was a proud program at one time. How much have you looked at the history of this program and seen all the names of guys who were coaches and actually recognizable names that came in here and time and again just couldn't really get over the hump? And how do you look at that and view that as you're in that position now?
Yeah, you pointed out the rich tradition and history that Duquesne has, and you know, it was one of the first things I learned about coming here through Coach Dambra, and it was a driving motivation of the reason why he came here. You know, his dad played here, the success that they had. We want to reinvigorate that success. I think they were doing it year after year after year in the 50s and the 60s, and that's the mission, to repeat and do it again. It is a challenge, right? Many have come before. I won't say that they failed. Things maybe just didn't go as planned. But I believe we have the right support from President Gormley, from our athletic department, from Dave, to really keep the winning going, the spirit and the competitive drive. We just have to do it together. I think it takes more than one person in the room. I think it takes a whole department, a whole program to buy in. It takes you guys to buy in too. So, you know, we need full support to accomplish what we want to.
Dru, Corey Christen, DK Pittsburgh Sports. Dave talked about your experiences, whether it was Cleveland State, playing overseas. How much did going abroad help expand your knowledge and your overall scope of the game, and how does that influence in your coaching?
Yeah, man, it was a wonderful opportunity. I almost didn't take it. You know, I was unsure after I finished up college. I just didn't know much about it. I had never left the country before. Almost joined Coach Dambrow's staff as a graduate assistant right then, but I was encouraged by my father and him to just play as long as I could, and I think it was one of the better decisions that I made. I got to experience the world, and you know, I think the basketball was cool, the basketball was great, but living in a different country allowed me to really see that we're more alike than we're different, that to embrace, you know, other cultures, customs and traditions, and to build relationships that are lasting, whether it was my coaches or whether it was my teammates. You know, to have those relationships means the world to me. And I won a lot of games, but we won some championships, but what stands out to me is the people that I still keep in contact with. And immediately upon getting this job, they were some of the first ones to reach out, so I hold that dear to my heart. But the experience was life-altering more than just basketball.
Abby Schnabel, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Family is obviously very important to you. I'm curious, how much do you think your coaching mirrors how you are as a dad, husband, and son?
I think you're asking me. That's the wrong person. Well, I know I can't have the same intensity I do on the court as I do at home. I do know that, but I think it mirrors because, you know, when these young men come to our campus, they're leaving their families, and we become that family. And in a lot of ways, I'm not going to treat them any different than I would my son and my daughters. I think that's what they need. That's what's important. They need the love. They need to hear the truth, right? Whether it's done with discipline or a hug, they need to hear the truth. they need to be held accountable, but they also have to have room to grow, and we have to have patience to allow that. So I think that's what I try to bring to my family. So I don't see why I would give our young men anything different.
Jenna Harner, WPXI. We've seen you speak with a lot of emotion today. Just how do you put into words what this opportunity means to you?
I thought that's what I've been doing. So let me backtrack and figure out some more adjectives. But no, it is like I said. I've been surrounded by a village of supporters, whether it's been my family, whether it's been coaches, since I was a young kid. That, you know, and there were times where I probably wasn't doing the right thing, but somehow, some way, people got a hold of me, made sure I stayed on track, and it means the world to be able to stand here, because I've heard so many people at such a young age tell me that, man, you're going to be a head coach one day. So here, I'm here, and it feels as if I made them, what do you call it, future tellers, fortune tellers, that you know, I had a chance to, you know, make them right. And I'm proud of that. And I thank everyone who's prayed for me, supported me, sent me a thank you, watched, paid attention. You know, I just want to say thank you to them.
Hey Dru, Jeff Hathorn, KDK Radio. What is the value to you of the last 2 years of being here? What have you learned about the commitment from Duquesne to winning?
You know, Coach called me about almost 2 years now, going on 2 years, and he doesn't ever really ask for help. That's not what Coach does. But he was kind of going through a rough period, and you know, he talked a lot about his culture, and that, you know, he wanted to find a way to better it, and you know, I could have run from the situation. He was coming off his worst year of his career. I knew he only had a couple more years left, so I didn't know what that looked like for my family, and it was a risk, but it was worth the risk to be able to not only help him, but to learn from him, and to be by his side, because I know who he is and what he represents, and you know, I just wanted to bring whatever value that I thought I had, all the energy that I could to make him successful, shine light on this program, and in doing so, I think we accomplished something pretty good, right? We got to the tournament. We not only got there, but before we even played that game, I told Coach, we're not done. We got something different for you. He had never won a game in the tournament. He had been there before. He knew what that moment felt like. So it was an incredible experience to be a part of his first victory in March Madness, and something that I won't forget. And you know, when I think about the value that I'll continue to bring, I'm gonna bring a consistent energy and effort day by day.
Alice Cannon, I'm Tim's sidekick. Coach, congratulations to you and your family. I want to tap into something that Dave mentioned a little bit ago about how things have changed. This position was a different position a year ago, and obviously a lot has changed. Can you talk a little bit about the challenges that presents, the benefits that provide, and also the holes that you're gonna have to fill. How does that all work after such a dramatic change over a year?
Three-part question, so I'll try to remember as much as I can. You know, the challenges, people want to do it again, right? We want to do it again. I think that is the challenge, and how you attack that, and you know, how do we build towards that? And that is going to start in the room, in our locker room with our staff and our young men, the mindset that we have to embody, and the connection that we have to have. Some of the benefits, people want to come to Duquesne. People want to see what the experience is about. People are excited for what's to come, and that is motivation, and that's also momentum to keep pushing forward. That's a driving energy. We appreciate that energy. It's up for us as a staff, as an administration, to keep that going, to build off of it. You know, how do you fill holes? Not holes, but how do you build a team? You know, first off, the men that showed up here today are the most important, because those are my guys, right? Now we have to fill a few more spots, but we'll do so, and we'll do so strategically, based on what we believe is the best fit for not only skill set, but our program and the culture that we want to embody.
Any other questions for Coach? Two more.
Oh, no. No, I don't need one.
Go ahead. Dominic Campbell, Pittsburgh Sports Now. Coach, it's 2024, but black head coaches tend to be underrepresented in college basketball. For you, what does it mean to be a black head coach in college basketball, also at Duquesne, which has such a history of being a pioneer with people like Chuck Cooper and others?
To me, blessed and fortunate. This opportunity doesn't come to everybody, and there's a lot of people who would love to be able to stand here. But I also realize I get to stand on the shoulders of many that have come before me, many black head coaches. I don't take that responsibility lightly. I want to make sure that I am the best example of them, that I am the best leader that I can possibly be, and that not only do I lead our men, but I make an impact within the community, and that I leave this, you know, that I leave a legacy for the next person to come, that I do things the right way, so I'm not the last.
Tyler Cronin, 3-Bid League. Coach Dambrot has mentioned before that he would have never been here had it not been for your decision to go play for him at St. Vincent St. Mary's, which obviously then led you to Duquesne as well. Could you have imagined that that choice you made as a teenager would help bring you to this spot today with your first head coaching job?
It's 3-Bid League. Is that the A10? Is that?
We cover the A10.
Okay, so we should be 3 bids, right?
Should be.
Should be 3, maybe 4. You gotta scream louder on Twitter, man. But could I imagine? Absolutely not. No. You know, a lot of the things that have happened along my journey, you know, playing for Coach Dambrot twice, right? If you know the story, I was a little upset at him when he left the first time. But I walked back in his office and said, okay, let's do it again. This time coaching with him was a no-brainer. But just what I've gone through, the different experiences of a documentary, of a film, like you can't dream it, you can't make it up. It's something that just happened. I just always believe enjoy the moment, stay in the moment, keep going. But this full circle moment of how things panned out, it's God's plan. You know, I don't see it any other way. You know, and I'm thankful to be here.
Thank you, Coach. Good job.
Thank you.